What's going on, everyone? Welcome to week 2 of Littleroot Lessons Draft League. And this week, the Baltimore Blazekins are playing against EB, who has a really interesting team for us. Whimsicott, Duraludon, Mimikyu, Zoroark, Torracat, Hawlucha, Silvally, Alolan Ninetales, Galork, and Toxapex. So this is what we have put together this week for ourselves. We have Single Strike Urshifu, carrying that Focus Sash, Close Combat, Wicked Blow, Sucker Punch, Protect. Just gonna try. Urshifu is part of our fast mode this week. And I think he's critically important to be able to deal with both Zoroark and the Duraludon and the Silvally. So, Max Speed Urshifu is going to outspeed all three of them without Tailwind, which they have the possibility of thanks to Whimsicott. So, as long as we are able to keep the pressure up on the Whimsicott and not let it set up Tailwind, or if it does, we have Trick Room mode, so we can properly deal with speed control. We have Serena to be able to prevent Whimsicott from actually interacting with us. That's actually about the only thing the Serena is doing this week. Notably, we have the Assault Vest on Mudsdale this week, so Serena instead is carrying an Guava Berry. It lines up well against, like, the Whimsicott is the big one, as well as, like, it can hit Duraludon, it can hit, like, the Triple Axle can break the Disguise on Mimikyu, which is really important. It lines up well against Zoroark, which, talking to Manix last week, he was saying that EB commonly would lead with Zoroark copying Galork, which, I mean, when you think about it, makes sense because it removes the ability to, like, fake out into that slot, and it removes your biggest weakness of fighting, so being able to copy a ghost seems good. The downside with that is that as soon as you see Zoroark move quickly, it pretty much gives away that it's not a Galork. So, Serena's really here to deal with the Whimsicott, and can put on pressure against, like, Duraludon and a Mimikyu as well. So, Triple Axle also hits the Hawlucha really hard, and we can just do, like, pretty significant damage to Alolan Ninetales as well, but mainly here as a Whimsicott counter. Dragalge is part of our Trick Room team this week. Notably, we have Ice Shard down here on Cloister to proc the weakness policy if we need to do that. But this is one of our big threats this week. So we have Klinkling down here with Ally Switch, Trick Room, Thunder Wave, and Flash Cannon. Originally this was Gear Grind, but after talking with Evan Smoke, he's like, hey, you have a lot of physical attackers. Maybe you should switch up to Klinkling. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Just so we're not getting completely played by Intimidate. So we cut Gear Grind for Flash Cannon, which I want to Gear Grind specifically for Mimikyu, but Flash Cannon also works in a pinch. So Dragalge is going to be one of our 2 big Dynamax targets, or one of our 3, I guess, if we're counting Urshifu. But if we get to the Trick Room set up, just really going to try to put on maximum pressure with both Dragalge and the Mudsdale, of course carrying that Assault Vest, have that stamina boost, which is going to be really, really sweet if we can actually get to do what we want with Cloister, which we can Rock Blast our Mudsdale to give it +5 defense, which then makes Body Press absurdly powerful. So really, really interested to see if we can actually do that, and if so, what good it does for us, if any. So really excited about this. Past that, it's your pretty standard Mudsdale, pretty standard Dragalge. Cloister here is carrying this Choice Scarf this week. It should be about 1 point faster than the Ninetales if we did this right. So we can hopefully Rock Blast the Ninetales down before it gets a Aurora Veil up, which if so, that just makes the rest of our team that much more dynamic. And then, of course, Klinkling, which we kind of already talked about, carrying that Ally Switch, carrying that Thunder Wave. Pure support this week. Luckily, looks like all of our items are ready. Looks like everything's good and set up. We'll be back with the match. Don't go anywhere, anyone. All right, and we are back with this week's match. Let's see what EB has for us. Really excited. Really excited for this week. Hopefully this goes well. Yeah, I like Gym Leader. That'll be fine. Really excited for this week. There we go. All right. And team preview time. The hardest part of this entire match. So we have Alolan Ninetales, Whimsicott, that's Silvally, we have the Golurk, the Torracat, and the Mimikyu. So luckily we don't have the Zoroark, which is actually one of the bigger ones that I was really concerned about this week. So that's one less thing we have to worry about. So I could see Ninetales, Whimsicott as a lead here, which I actually don't hate. And if that's the play, I think our play is like Cloyster Serena. We could also do Serena Klinklang and set up Trick Room and then have the two TR sweepers in the back. But I think because of the presence of the Ninetales, I think we need to be able to deal with it before we go for Trick Room. So what do we think about like Cloyster Klinklang? Actually, I think we want Cloyster Serena. No, I think we want Cloyster Klinklang with Serena and Mudsdale in the back. I think because of the Golurk, I think I want Dragalge. I think this is fine. So, if they lead on Whimsicott, we can switch Klinklang out for Serena. If they don't lead Whimsicott, we can set up Trick Room. And then we are ready to rock and roll, it looks like. So, really excited to see how this goes. Got the Diglett card. This one I don't really see, and it's actually one I think is really good looking. So we do see Whimsicott Mimikyu as a lead here. Pretty Pokemon too. So we are going to lead Cloyster Klinklang here. And I think that Mimikyu is the biggest problem on this lead. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for an Icicle Spear into the Mimikyu. And I think we're immediately going to switch out the Klinklang for that Serena. Just to prevent all the prankster shenanigans that could be coming from that Whimsicott. Most likely going to see a Tailwind this turn, which if that's the case, I'm kind of okay with that. We're going to see a Tickle come out from the Whimsicott, which that Queenly Majesty is just going to shut down. So the first hit from the Icicle Spear is going to break that Disguise. Going to do roughly 15% to that Mimikyu. And hopefully the rest of these do a little more than that so we can pick up the KO. Looks like it's going to be close, but I don't think it's ultimately going to be enough to pick up the KO. Nope, not quite. So we are going to see that Woodhammer into the Cloyster. Not enough to pick up the KO, and that's really good for us. So we do see the Life Orb on the Mimikyu, which is enough to pick up the KO. Between Life Orb and the recoil from the Woodhammer, we are able to secure the KO. I'm assuming Tickle lowers defenses. Reducing its attack and defense. Okay, interesting. So we are going to see that Intimidate come out from the Torracat, lowering both of our Pokemon's attack, which should... So we are locked into Icicle Spear, so I think we're just going to launch that right into the Whimsicott. And I think until I deal with that Whimsicott, I want to stay in with Serena. I can see a Fake Out coming in from the Cloyster into the Cloyster. So I think it's correct to actually just target down this Whimsicott and just go for a triple axle and an icicle spear into that slot. We don't see the fake out into it. So it looks like the icicle spear is not going to be enough to pick up the KO. It's going to be really close, and I don't think... Nope, we're going to be just short, it looks like. Man, that is real close. We're going to see that energy ball into the cloister, picking up the KO there. And we're going to see a Will-O-Wisp going into the Serena. I think this is all fine. I'm pretty satisfied with everything that just happened. So we are going to get that triple axle into the Whimsicott, picking up the KO there as well. So facing down a Torracat, I think it's correct. I think I just want to bring out Dragalge here. And I think it's probably about time that we go for a Dynamax here. So that looks like normal Dragalge. I mean, normal Silvally, I should say. Which, if that's the case, I feel like we're in a pretty good position. So we're just going to Max Geyser down this Torracat to get rid of it. And I want to go for a Protect here. But, like, what does the Silvally have that actually threatens our Serena? So I think we're just going to go for a high jump kick. And if we get knocked out... So it looks like we're going to see a Dynamax from the Silvally, which is interesting. So if we get the knockout on the Serena, I'm fine with that. And that means we get to then bring in the Kling Kling and hopefully set up a Trick Room or an Ally Switch just to, like, get those mind games going immediately. But Silvally does look like to be their big threat on specifically this variant of their team. So, like the Torracat, it doesn't really do anything here to us. We need to be able to deal with it so we can reasonably switch into our Kling Kling. So we are going to see that normal gym Silvally, which is the most common set for it. And that normal gym Max Strike is not going to be enough to pick up the KO, which I'm not surprised. Dragalge is fairly bulky. And we're going to see the Will-O-Wisp into the Dragalge as well, which doesn't really mean anything. It's just going to be a little bit of residual damage to us. High jump kick is going to go into the Silvally, is going to connect, not going to do a ton of damage. More importantly, though, we do get this Max Geyser off into the Torracat, not securing the KO. Little bulky there. So, looking at the damage output on the Silvally from the Serena, it actually does pretty significant damage if we aren't burnt. So I think we're going to go for a Max Ooze into the Torracat. And I think I'm just going to click Protect here from Serena. Like, the Silvally shouldn't really have anything to threaten the Dragalge. So I'm not overly worried about that. And, like, the Torracat, sure, it outspeeds us, but, like, what damage output is it doing to the Dragalge? So, like, just holding on to the Serena for a little bit if the Torracat is going into that slot is just good for us. So we're going to see that Max Rockfall into the Dragalge do, again, pretty decent damage. Nothing significant, but pretty decent. More importantly, it is going to change that weather from rain to the sand. I'm going to get the parting shot into the Dragalge as well, but we are going to get that Max Ooze into the Torracat, which is going to put us right back to neutral on our stats. Or at least on our special attack, which is the one I care about. And a little bit of residual damage all around. Sand damage on everybody. Burn damage on both of my Pokemon. So if they do have the Will-O-Wisp on the Torracat, I think it's actually correct to have our Trick Room Sweeper be the Dragalge here. We're going to go for a max Wormwind. Actually, I think it's correct to go for a max Guard here. And just try to get another high jump kick into this Silvally. Because they do seem to be threatened by the Dragalge, so just being able to protect it for one more turn while both of our Dynamaxes run out seems pretty important to us. Are going to connect with that high jump kick once again. A little more residual damage all across the board, and our Dynamaxes are both going to end. So, Dragalge is probably going down this turn. Unless we switch out for Klinklang this turn, which I don't actually hate. I think if we switch to Klinklang, and then it's 130, that's going to be... High jump kick's going to be the most damage output here. Yeah, we'll just go for another high jump kick. Hopefully they don't go for like protect. Because if so, we're going to take a ton of damage. Thanks to that recoil. We're going to see the Rock Slide from the Silvally. Not going to do a whole lot of anything to either of our Mons here. High jump kick once again going to connect. Doing significantly more damage this time. And as long as we connect with the next one, we should be winning this game. So we can double into it. There's no way that it can get the double KO. We can also hit ally switch. I think it's correct just to double into it and just try to pick up the KO that way. I can't think of anything that the Silvally would have that would threaten both of our Mons. Yeah, we are just gonna see a little bit of chip damage all around. We are gonna reveal that Berry on Zarina, which they obviously knew it wasn't the Assault Vest variant. Oh, no. Serena, what are you doing to me, girl? What are you doing to me? So not only do we get the flinch from the Silvally, but we also got the miss on the high jump kick, and man, just one thing after another there. So again, I think it's correct to just double into this. I don't see any particular reason not to. Like, their out here is for us to be flinched. Like, to get the double flinch and just stall out the game. So, if we just double in... Oh, they are just going to go for the explosion. Okay. Which is not going to be enough to pick up the KO on the Klinklang, but we are going to get that KO on the Dragalge, and more importantly, we took out the Silvally by just looking at it funny. So we are going to go into game 2, up a game. It is good to know that it is Explosion Normal Gym Silvally, which we don't really have a way to play around. I guess our best way to play around it is click Protect. But it is also a physical variant of Silvally, which is good to know as well. Silvally's base stats are pretty close to each other, so you can run it as either sweeper, like physical or special. The problem is like it doesn't do particularly well on the special because its move pool is not the best. All right, so they have this Silvally, which is moderately problematic. How do we counter the Silvally? I think I like... What do I think of Cloister Mudsdale here as a lead? And then we have like Serena Urshifu in the back. That leaves us real weak to Intimidate cycling from the Torracat. So what if we lead Urshifu Cloyster? Serena. Do I want Dragalge or do I want Mudsdale? Mudsdale lines up better against Silvally, but lines up weaker overall against Torracat. Dragalge lines up better against the Golork and the Torracat. I think it's correct to bring Dragalge here. I think having a decent answer to the Torracat when the rest of our team is physical is the correct call. So we're going to see Ninetales Torracat as a lead here. So most likely going to see a fake out coming out from the Torracat into the Cloyster. It's interesting that they lead on the Torracat, which is moderately problematic for us because the Ninetales is going to outspeed the Urshifu. What do we think about Dynamaxing and just Max Knuckling into the Torracat? I don't hate it. They're going to get an Aurora Veil up from the Ninetales, which we're going to have to play through. And I'm going to click Rock Blast into the Ninetales, but I'm not sure. I'm anticipating a Rock Blast from the, a fake out from the Torracat. So the Max Knuckle is going to get to bring us back up to +1. Oh, back to even on both of our Pokemon. Notably, the Cloyster is faster than Urshifu because of the Scarf. You can see the fake out into the Urshifu. That's really good for us. No! Oh, man. Come on, Cloyster. You had one job, buddy. And now they are going to get that Aurora Veil up. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate on that miss. Well, we're just going to keep hitting, I guess just keep hitting both. So let's Max Knuckle into the Torracat. And I think it's correct to try to take out the Torracat here. Just immediately answer the bigger problem for our team, in all actuality. The Ninetales, yeah, like, it has Veil up at this point, so, like, it has done its job, it feels like. So, it doesn't look like the Rock Blast is going to be enough to pick up the KO. So, unfortunately, that means we are going to have to use our Max Knuckle into that Torracat one more time as well. But that also means that both of our Pokemon are going to be at +1. The Torracat is dealt with, so it's not going to get Will-O-Wisp or a Parting Shot off into either of our Pokemon. So now, like, the bigger threat for this team, it seems to be taken care of. We're going to see that Blizzard into both of our Mons. Going to do pretty decent damage to Urshifu. Obviously, the Cloyster resisted 4 times. Does water resist ice? I don't know these things. I've been playing this game for 20-some years and I don't know these things. That's just one off the top of my head I couldn't tell you. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty decent shiny too. That's one I haven't ever seen. So we're +1. I think we're just going to go for a Wicked Blow into that. And I think we're going to go for a Rock Blast into this Ninetales. Try to break the sash if it has it, which I don't see anything else that would have the sash, but at the same time it is Ninetales. Specifically because you want to set up that Aurora Veil, you could have the Light Clay on it, which if that's the case, then that's pretty problematic for us because it's going to be up for quite a while. I believe Light Clay puts it up for 8 turns, which that is just an astronomical amount. We're going to see that Dynamax coming in from the Golurk, it looks like. Which, if that's the case, this is going to be really good for us. Not only do we get to deal with our opponent's Dynamax, but how bulky is his Golurk? This is, if you can believe it, this is one that I don't know off the top of my head. So unless we get a really high roll on that fifth one, Ninetales is going to get to live, which is moderately unfortunate. We're going to get that G-Max one blow with that amazing animation into the Golurk. Not enough to pick up the KO, which is really interesting. So base 124 attack, 80 defense. We do see that weakness policy, which is going to be moderately problematic for us. We're going to see the Blizzard one more time. I have a feeling we're losing an Urshifu this turn. I'm going to see the Rock Fall. So that's going into Cloyster. Yeah, which, that's fine. That is 100% fine. Because we can just click Sucker Punch in the face of this Golurk, and that should be enough to take it out. So what do we have to deal with this Ninetales? Nothing. It deals with itself. Cool. Alright. So what do they have in the back? I think it's just safe to bring in Dragalge here. So, Mimikyu. Interesting. Which we know has the Wood Hammer, probably also is carrying Play Rough, which I don't know if Dragalge is going to be able to live a Play Rough. So we are just going to go for that Sucker Punch into the Golurk. Let's go for a Sludge Bomb into the Mimikyu. It might be incorrect to not double up into the Golurk here, just to deal with it before it does become a bigger problem. But I think the damage has been done by triggering the policy, but luckily we are faster with the Urshifu. Unfortunately, it is base 55 speed, which is faster than Dragalge, so it should outspeed us there. Sucker Punch is going to be enough to pick up the KO. That one I wasn't 100% sure about if we were going to be able to pick up, if we were going to be able to hit that range or not. But the power of Urshifu just coming in hot. Going to see that Will-O-Wisp into Urshifu. Don't really care about that. And we're getting the GGs from EB, so... And we get the poison off into the Mimikyu. So, we are getting the GGs. Says he wasn't expecting us to bring such a fast team. And that's the glory of the team that we have. Like, we have seen Choice Scarf from both teams the last 2 weeks. And Choice Scarf has caught our opponent off guard both times. So... It's been really, really good for us to be able to do that. So we're just going to Wicked Blow here. Going to go for that Sludge Bomb one more time into the Mimikyu, and that should be GG's. Sucker Punch, not enough to pick up the K. Oh, wait, that was a Wicked Blow. And the Life Orb is going to be able to take out the Mimikyu. So... the Baltimore Blazikens are moving to 2-0, looking to make a pretty decent run this season too. So really, really excited for what we have going on. Should have pairings here shortly for week 3. I know we have a few more matches to be able to deal with before we can get those results in, but. As always, everyone, make sure you go follow the podcast at LR Lessons. Follow myself at Cardinal25. Follow Carl our fantastic editor and co-host of the podcast at musical_33. If you're not a member already of the Discord, make sure you go follow that. That link is always down in the video description. And since you're already here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell to get notifications when new videos go live. And make sure you go ahead and hit that like button for this one. one as well if you liked what we're seeing. The Baltimore Blazekins are really, really trying to make a good run this season, so we're really hoping to get there. So have a good one, everyone. We'll be back next week. Make sure, if you haven't already, go watch this week's Let's Play video of Pokemon Stadium 2. It's something I've been doing for a couple months now on the YouTube channel, and I am really glad to be doing. I should have another video going up sometime next week, so make sure you go watch that. It's a really fun series I've really enjoyed doing, so have a good one. We'll be back next week. Peace.